trains and continue with the videos on using a cutting machine for scratch building. This video will deal with what my setup is and how I use the cutting machine, which is a Cricut Maker 3, with all the other equipment that you need. My setup, I use a Surface Pro laptop for the main computer dedicated to modelling. I use two 24-inch screens running off the laptop so that I can switch between the software that's within the cutting machine, which is the Design Space, and the Inkscape, where I do all of the design of the buildings. This allows me, as I say, to swap between the two, but mainly that when I'm downloading the Inkscape drawing, I can see in Design Space as it downloads whether it's correctly adjusted the settings to the same sizes. You can alter those quite easily within Design Space, but it is a matter of checking them every time, or you'll end up with something that's out of scale and usually a lot smaller than what you're expecting. I use a Cricut, or Cricut as it's sometimes called, Maker 3 machine, and I've had this for over a year now, about 15-16 months. I've found it to be very user-friendly once you get to know it. It took probably, in all honesty, about 3 months to learn how to use it properly and get good results. For my printing, I use a Canon G3610, which has large ink tanks, and I find that this is the most economical way to print. A set of ink tank refills is around about 120 Australian dollars. They say that that lasts for 2 years, but doing the amount of work that I do with this, I'm lucky if I get 6 to 9 months out of the bottles that you're provided with. I also have an iPad where I store all the photos when I'm working on any research for the buildings that I'm about to build. The other things that I do use, sorry about that, one other tips that I would give you. One tip when using the cutting machine, always connect the Maker 3 via its USB cable. The wireless function is temperamental when you're moving large files around, and especially when you've got it onto Design Space and you send it to the cutting machine. If that wireless connection drops out, then you start again. So for larger files, always use the USB. In fact, I use the USB connection all the time. The second tip that I have with the machine is it receives automatic downloads regularly. Now, if you put the machine away for a few weeks, or as I've had to do this year for a couple of months, because I've had other things to deal with, when it does come back on, there's quite a few updates that it has to catch up on. And one of the things that I did find was that some of the drawings that I had used and printed using Design Space, when I downloaded Inkscape, the same Inkscape files to the Maker 3, it would not cut some of the circles in particular. So I had to find a way around that, and the way around that is that whatever the circle is, if it won't copy it, is to actually add the circle using the machine's own Design Space to your drawings. So that is a critical point to remember. With regards to the machine itself, I'll do a separate video on that so that I can concentrate on some of the tips and tricks that you can come across with that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you.